Hey, look at that. We got it. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Neo Humanity. Trying to go in-game by a different name just to make my life more difficult. It is our red Zerg player, RagnaroK. And his opponent in the upper left-hand corner, the blue herO for Dragon Kites Gaming, herO. This should be a very exciting match between these two. RagnaroK looking very strong against Oliveira. Obviously, we have a bit of a different matchup on our hands, but I think it bodes well for his play here against herO. Dealing with a lot of that early game pressure very nicely. Getting into solid macro. We did get to see the RagnaroK style of play. His penchant for just going very heavy on the Lings and Banes. He had some Hydras. He was heading towards Lurkers in that last game, but wasn't getting fancy. There was no Infestors. There was like one Viper that I didn't see come into play at all. It was pretty focused. Pretty swarmy play out of RagnaroK. I imagine we'll see something similar against herO. Assuming that is herO goes for a like Stargate into Blink Stalker build, which I feel like is not a crazy thing to suggest. Pretty much the epitome of standard in this matchup right now is Oracle into Blink Stalkers. herO did force RagnaroK to take this third base, which is incredibly annoying of that probe. Honestly, how dare that probe? But RagnaroK going to take a quick third. It is natural. Equalize things. Ooh, and I'm talking about Stargates over here, but herO going for a robo opening. Is this going to be like a... Well, he could just go for a Prism, try to put some pressure on with a couple of Adepts. Something like that. It's just the single gate, though. It makes me believe it's going to be like Disruptor drops or something. Could we see a fun strat like that? Hey, look at that. Disruptor drops. Or Colossus drops? Nah, I think it's got to be Disruptors. I see Colossus drops like very, very occasionally, almost exclusively against Terran. I'd love to see one here, but I feel like it's... You don't see it for a reason. Disruptors are just a little bit more, well, a little bit more of a disruption to the Zerg player. Kind of a fun start for herO. This wall, maybe a little less fun. This actually looks very similar to a wall I built on this map not too long ago. I lost that game, partially because my wall was terrible. So we'll see how it goes for herO. He is going to be keeping the pressure on to RagnaroK for a little bit here. But always a chance for a counterattack to kind of bust that wall down. Adept's going to sneak in. We'll get a few drone kills here. The drones don't pull away. I feel like RagnaroK should have pulled those drones over. He had the full surround on the Adept. You just pull the drones away and you lose like one. But he loses 5. That actually ends up really being worth it for herO. The Overlord's going to get the scout on the Disruptor. So RagnaroK now knows what he's up against. I think he even saw the Robo Bay. In fact, he for sure did. So he knows, I mean, I say that like it's not obvious with the Disruptor, but he saw it working. So he knows it's for sure Prism speed, which is about to kick in a second. This Prism's going to be so quick. And a few more drones going down to these Adepts. One of the Adepts is going to die. The second one does sneak out of there. At least for now. But 4 more drones dying for 1 more Adept. So far, herO finding some really nice damage in this early stage of the game. He's going to take a third base and then immediately move across with the Prism. The Lings are going to try to stop this third from happening. I think they can. Oh, I feel like if they had just gone for the third, they for sure would have gotten it. As it is, they will bust through this Stalker and might be able to get the surround on the second one, but Zealots warp in to stop it. And And the disruptor drop. Oh, that prism. Oh my god, this prism is taking so much damage. 34 hit points. It needs to be so careful. Send the Novas out. Gets a couple of kills, but not much. Oh my god, that prism, please. Can Queens hit that? How do they not hit that? That's actually insane. Oh, this Queen did hit it. Oh man, that prism. That prism getting knocked down to 14 hit points. Crazy low. herO playing with absolute fire. Going into Colossus behind it, I do like the singular Colossus here, just to help hold that third. More disruptors coming out behind that. It is so far just Ling Queen out of RagnaroK. Disruptors don't really get the connections they're looking for. So far, these disruptors have not gotten much. I think they got 2 drones. Just a few of these Lings. Haven't even killed a Queen. But now herO's going to move across. The Bane Nest isn't done. There is a Roach Warren, but the Roaches aren't out. So it's just Lings and Queens to try to defend this little push. And it's not the strongest or scariest push in the world. But RagnaroK definitely wasn't quite ready for it. He will force it back. The Roaches pop out. And, I mean, they'll be good at defending, but defense is pretty much done now, so I think that worked out really well for herO. He forced some units that RagnaroK didn't really want to make, and RagnaroK can't really do anything with them right now because Roach Speed isn't done. God, this prism needs to be so careful. It's, like, almost worth just building another prism so you have a full hit point prism. Has no health. And the Disruptor's looking for a connection. Again, not really finding it. Damaging a couple of Queens. Did force RagnaroK to bile his own Lings, so I guess that works out for him. herO found some really nice damage in the early part of the game, but so far these Disruptors really just haven't been able to do it. That being said, RagnaroK doesn't exactly have the beefiest force right now, and it looks like herO does actually want to push out. Maybe? No. Kills an Overlord, backs up. Blinking +1 on the way. He's going to grab a 4th base, and I think this Ling is going to scout it. He just barely gets the scout off if that base is happening. Sees the pylon. Start trying to bust through the rocks here a little bit. Drops the infestation pit behind it. Right, macro time. I wonder if RagnaroK will take the forward base. This feels like such a bold base to take. But it looks like he's not worried about a 5th base right now. Looks like he's more worried about pushing across. These Blink Stalkers are down here just going to zone a little bit. Poke at the Lings a little bit. Blink out of there. Cannons and shield batteries not quite done at this base just yet. Still no 5th base here from RagnaroK. And I'm getting a little worried. As he's getting into Hive, going to stay on even bases with his Protoss opponent. Is now dropping that first Stargate. That's going to lead him eventually to getting into Carriers and or Tempests. It's going to be a while before that happens, though. Hive is on the way for RagnaroK as well, but he's going to push in with the Lings, Banes, Roaches, and Ravagers hitting from multiple angles. herO just not paying attention. Those Disruptor Novas going out so late, getting terrible connections. And oh my god, I think herO just wasn't watching. He fully wasn't ready for this committal from RagnaroK. The Disruptors are getting away for now, but there's no shield battery to run back to. So any Lings or Roaches getting on top of them will take them down. But RagnaroK seems to be running low on forces. He has a lot of reinforcements coming. The base stays alive, but 11 probes go down. The big news, though, is herO's army got almost completely reset. He's down to, well, 4 Disruptors, but 2 of them in the Prism running across looking for something. All the Stalkers pretty much died. Yeah, every single Stalker died in that fight. I think herO was just caught completely off guard by the full surround from RagnaroK. RagnaroK ends up taking, I would say, a pretty nice trade there. He's still on pretty low tech, but his Hive is now finished. His 5th base is up. herO has reprobed this base, so he's back up to full mining. Well, RagnaroK's army is quite a bit bigger. It is definitely significantly worse, though. And this time, herO's paying more attention. Those Disruptor Novas getting a bit better connections. But the Banelings are going to run in and smash through 18 probes. And this time, they finish off the Nexus. RagnaroK's going to pull back. It looks like herO wants to put some pressure on, feeling like he's under the gun here, like he's got to get something done. But with a bunch more Lings coming out, a lot of roaches here, these Disruptors have so much to do. That's a juicy connection. The next two, though, not really finding it, and those Disruptors are going down. Archon's pulling back, doing everything they can against the Ling Bane. This one Colossus on 26 kills is actually insane. But it's kind of just barely keeping herO alive. Again, the Disruptor count has been the real problem here as those Disruptors just keep on dying. Archon drop trying to get little bits of damage done and just take nice little trades as herO gets this fourth base back up. herO is trying to get into carriers. He has +1 on the way. He has 2 carriers on the way up. RagnaroK, I don't think has realized this is coming yet, though, because he's getting into Ultras. Now, that being said, Ultras with chitinous plating against carriers can be really good. Those carriers just struggle to kill the Ultras. And RagnaroK might be able to just bust his way through everything. Oh my god, the parasitic bomb. Whew. The battery's pretty good. So a bunch of Ultras coming out with chitinous plating at a crucial moment could be enough for RagnaroK to push through. None of these units for herO are particularly good against Ultras. I do see an Immortal on the production tab now. 5 or 6 Immortals out on the field for herO could really turn the tide. Also, worth noting, these cooling towers are getting kind of low. Looks like they've taken a lot of splash damage. RagnaroK might have to be a little careful of that. Trying to counterattack, sees that this base is on the way, but isn't up yet. In fact, it looks like herO's probe got stuck somewhere and wasn't able to build that base. Yeah, he's going to re-put it down now. Let's make sure to send the probe from the right location. This probe will head over there. Maybe it just got killed by the Lings. This one's also going to get killed by the Lings. And herO is now in a very annoying spot. If the Lings will clean this up. I think they have Adrenal at this point. They don't, actually. I lied. I thought they did, but they don't. herO's going to push across. He's at 94 army supply. Not the scariest army, but there really isn't anything to kill these 3 carriers. Ooh, Disruptor Nova coming through. Nice split from RagnaroK, though. Carrier's trying to get some damage done, but the Banelings decide to smash onto the Archons, and that is absolutely the right call. They will just power through them, and the carriers are like, no, 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 stop. Stop, we need, we're supposed to win this fight. But RagnaroK decides to just push through. I think the carriers will win the fight, though. The Zealot warp in with the shield batteries there, enough to push those Roaches and Ravagers away. They try to go kill this building base, but herO just decided never to take it. Now herO's going to kill this 5th base with carriers. The Spire is only halfway done because, again, RagnaroK didn't really realize this was coming. Anabolic Synthesis finishing up for the Ultras. I would really love to see a few Ultras come out. Again, nothing herO has really deals with Ultras, but I think he was trying to save his money for the Corruptors, but he's just going to tap out before that even happens. Oh, man. I think RagnaroK was playing such a good game, but missing the fact that carriers were on the way until it was way too late. Trying to send those units through anyways and just ignore the carriers. There's a little bit too much ground army, a little bit too much static defense for herO, and the Roach Ravager Ling Bane ended up not really doing too much. I also think those cooling towers did finally fall and cut off a lot of RagnaroK's army for that fight. Game 2 is going to be on Ancient Cistern. Players are chatting a little bit. I imagine having a reasonable conversation about quality of that game. All right, they're both laughing now. Maybe not. All right. There's a ready. We're counting into game 2. That was a really fun game. I think that really shows off RagnaroK style really well. And you could absolutely see how he could win a game like that. Obviously missing the carrier transition, not necessarily expecting herO to have 3 or 4 carriers when he did. I think really hurt RagnaroK there. But the heavy like early game and mid game tech, very RagnaroK and very fun. Let's hop into game 2. I'm gonna have to do a little name micro here, so excuse me while I just do a little of this and a little of that. Is spawning in the upper right hand corner of Ancient Cistern. It's not Hebe. I don't know what that means. Maybe somebody in chat knows what that means. But it is our red Zerg, RagnaroK. And his opponent in the lower left-hand corner is none other than herO. Maybe the best Protoss in the world, although I have to say MaxPax's PvT has felt much stronger than herO's. The last few PvTs I've seen and cast of herO, it feels like he's struggling. He almost doesn't know exactly what to do. And they haven't been going particularly well for him. It is interesting that herO didn't get super aggressive with any Blink Stalkers or anything last game. Obviously, he had the Disruptor drops, trying to get some damage done, but that Prism took so much damage right away that it felt like he couldn't get in there as deep as he might have wanted to, and they didn't really get too much damage done. Honestly, really good defense from RagnaroK, and it felt like a couple of I don't know, unexpected blunders out of herO. Not something we usually see from him. Losing all those Stalkers in the manner he did, with just a bunch of Banelings coming in. And, again, that Prism just taking a bunch of damage early on is really huge. It puts it in such a scary position trying to dive in on top of Queens. RagnaroK not letting any Queens die to those Disruptors. Super, super nice. And I think we'll see herO not go for Disruptor drops this game. Likely a Stargate opener to kind of reset it. Obviously, herO ended up winning the game, so he could maybe just go for whatever he wants. He is pretty good, and actually one of the things that makes herO so scary is he can pull out Disruptor drops. He can pull out standard Oracle opener. He could go for like a Phoenix opener, and you'd be like, is he going for Phoenixes? Could probably do it. Or Glade the Depths. He's got a plethora of builds at his disposal. RagnaroK does feel a little more one-note in comparison. He's a lot more of a reactive player, and he will happily attack you. He will happily put pressure on and go for all-ins, but I feel like usually they are attacks of opportunity, and so the big thing if you're playing against RagnaroK is try not to give him that opportunity, or at the very least punish him for taking that opportunity. That's kind of something we saw herO do last game, taking advantage of the fact that RagnaroK was going hard in the paint with those early game units, and carrier was really catching him off guard. This game, though, it is the Stargate opener. It is the Oracle first. A little more standard stuff out of herO. herO usually able to get a good bit of damage done with this. Gosu Reaper, thank you for the raid, my friend. What a game, man. Hot damn. Hot diggity dog. That was beautiful. As Reaper took a game off of the world champion just a little while ago. Impressive stuff. Ooh, RagnaroK busting through the wall. These shield batteries not really going to be up in time. He's getting very annoying damage done here. herO will push them away with the Oracle. Too many Lings have died to really do anything now. They'll kill this to death though. Look at him go. Ooh. Meantime, Turns out herO's really good with his Oracle control, and that was the second Oracle back at home defending the first one, getting 6 drone kills on the other side of the map. Damn. herO really filling trap shoes here with the Oracle control. But Reaper, thank you so much for the raid. I hope everybody who was watching had a good time, and I hope you are here to enjoy the rest of the KSL. We are currently in the semifinals. herO one up over RagnaroK. Oof, and looking pretty good in game 2 here as even more drones go down now to the Adepts. 15 drones in total have died. That is very painful. Trades very good for herO. Not insanely good, but I think he's very happy with that. Keeping the worker count even. Third base feeling a little exposed, but with 2 oracles here, not feeling that exposed. The follow-up is that blink and +1. herO really playing to his strengths here, playing the solid standard game that we all know and love him for. More Adepts sneaking in. This is the kind of stuff that makes herO one of the scariest players in the world, and I think MaxPax can do a lot of this as well. Just a couple units here, a couple units there, and it feels like everything you do, you're in the wrong position. RagnaroK got to be kicking himself now. He's lost 20 drones to a few Adepts and an Oracle. And the third base is up and running. He knows it. He knows the worker count is not great for him right now. Oh my god, and there's more damage happening as the triple Oracle comes in. Snipes down 4 more drones and gets out of there without losing a single Oracle still. All 3 of these Oracles alive. herO taking a very quick and very forward 4th base. This is a surprising 4th base to see herO take. It is going to make for a really nice attack position. He can put some shield batteries down here, and the Stalkers will be able to blink forward and blink back to that base. Be a nice position to hold from. And I think that's exactly what herO's expecting to do. Cannon shield battery. Lots of gates finishing up. +1 and blink about to finish. Lings spot this. Creep spread over here. Yeah, it's not too bad. Let's hit this ramp at the very least for RagnaroK. He's trying to take this 4th base. I hear Oracle's getting damage done. One of the Oracles finally goes down, but sounds like a couple of Queens died for it. And a few drones. Damn. Ling's looking for a counterattack. Not quite going to find it. Probe holding the door strong here. Ooh, Baneling's going to morph into a Dropper Lord here. Ling's getting caught by the Stalkers, but actually, the Stalkers getting caught by the Lings a little bit. A very nice surround here for RagnaroK. The Stalkers will be able to blink away and get back to his shield battery, which will overcharge. I think that went pretty decently for RagnaroK, and at the same time, herO more focused over there than he is on his natural probe line, and 15 probes go down just like that. herO suddenly needs to get a lot of damage done with these Stalkers, but the Stalkers are kind of low. A lot of them have taken shield damage. A lot of them have started to take hull damage. It's going to make it a lot harder for herO to push forward up this ramp onto this creep, especially now that Hydras are out. They're very close to having their range upgrade. And herO really hasn't gotten anything done with these Blink Stalkers. I think this is looking really nice for RagnaroK, and he's going to do it again. Looks like this time, oh, I thought it was just going to be with Lings. Nope. 4 more Banes morphing. He's going back in, baby. Stalker's still looking for something to do here. Popping Overlords, but RagnaroK, of course, knows where he is then. Get into position. Oh, nice trigger on the stasis trap. This is a lot of Blink Stalkers. Grab a Hydra on the backside, but 13 more probes going down. And Bane's rolling in to the 3rd. A lot of these probes just barely live, but that's 18 dead probes. The Stalkers blinking back from the Lings and Hydras, but herO needs to do more than that. He needs to do more than take little trades here. He's down 20 workers. He needs to come in and kill something. He needs to kill a base or something. And RagnaroK's just not letting him do it. He says, yeah, I'll trade a few Lings to push you back. No problem. He can do that all day. Like Captain America here. Baneling's Trying not to get triggered into the stasis traps. It looks like pulling him back a little bit. Trying not to get picked off. Lings trying to deal with this counterattack as Zealots. The Zealots doing okay against him, though. The Zealots are on +2 and +1 armor. Oh my god, but the Oracles fly into the Spore Crawler. Hydras are fighting against the Stalkers alone. That's not what they want to be doing, and herO is starting to find some of that damage he really needed. I think the Zealots were cleaned up, but there's Stalkers over on the right side now. Zealots joining up. RagnaroK really struggling to deal with both sides of this action. In fact, struggling to deal with either side. He is rolling Banelings through killing probes, but it doesn't matter. GG. herO somehow pushes through with his Blink Stalkers. It seemed like an impossible position. He was down so many workers, but RagnaroK maybe putting too much into that counter damage, just barely didn't have enough back at home to hold.